The cosine rule. We use the cosine rule when we have a triangle that does not contain a right angle, and the four pieces of information we have consist of three sides and one angle. It is important to know how to label the sides of a triangle. In triangle ABC, side A is opposite angle A, and side B is opposite angle B, and side C is opposite angle C. The cosine rule states for when finding a side, the rule is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a times b times cos c. If we have a look at this rule closely, we can see that this rule is just an extension of Pythagoras' theorem. When we're asked to find an angle, we can rearrange the side formula to get the rule cos c is equal to a squared plus b squared minus c squared all over 2ab. It is also very important to be able to identify where angle C is. If we have a look here, angle C is up here, and angle C is always trapped by the arms B and A. So with any triangle, if you're asked to find this angle here, you need to know, for cosine rule, sides B and A trap the angle. Let's look at an example. The first example we'll look at is finding a side. Here you can see we have a triangle and we have four pieces of information. Three sides and one angle. Here our unknown is a side, so we're going to use our side formula. Substituting the information that we know, x squared is equal to 35 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 35 times 28 times cos 62 degrees. Substituting that into your calculator, you get an answer of 1088.835 ... Now, this is why I mentioned Pythagoras' theorem. In Pythagoras' theorem, to find side C, it was a squared plus b squared. This answer here is our squared answer. We then need to find x now. We need to get the square root of that. So x is going to equal the square root of 1088.835 ... Type this on your calculator and use the A and S button to substitute that number straight back in. We do not want to round early, otherwise our final answer will be wrong. The square root of 1088.835 is equal to 32.9975 ... Continues on. Correct to two decimal places, becomes 33 kilometers. Now let's look at an example that consists of us asking to find an angle. Here we can see in example 2, again, we have four pieces of information, and our unknown this time is going to be an angle, so we're going to use the angle rule. Cos C is equal to a squared plus b squared minus c squared all over 2 times a times b. Remembering, here in this triangle, we don't have any a, b's, c's written. Side A and B always trap the arms of angle C, and side C is always opposite angle C. So now substituting into the formula what we know, we'll have cos theta is equal to a squared plus b squared minus c squared all over 2 times a times b. Like before in trigonometry, to get theta by itself, we need to use inverse cos, which is shift cos on your calculator, bracket 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 6 squared all over 2 times 7 times 10. When you press equals on your calculator will give you the answer 36 degrees, 10 minutes, 56.23 seconds, and that rounded to the nearest minute becomes 36 degrees, 11 minutes. So, just to recap, the cosine rule has two separate rules to it. You also need to be able to identify your sides of the triangle, and you need 4 pieces of information, and your 4 pieces of information must contain 3 sides and 1 angle. And remembering that sides A and B always trap angle C.